we doing? Ben Fishman here. It's been a while. Let me adjust my camera here. So, how you guys been? Season is over. I'm gonna do a better job at this podcast. I really gave it a try, and then I got sucked into the season, and it's just been busy. That's what happens in South Florida. The season comes and it goes, but when it's here, it's crazy. You got to work real hard. You're making probably, I don't know, 70% of your money in like 5 months. So you work hard. You just kind of go through it. You take it easy in the summer, and hopefully, if you budget well, you can do that. Take some time off. So it's just kind of what you do down here. It's kind of part of South Florida life. Palm Beach is very different these days. Though a lot of people are here full time. You know, we had we had a lot of seasonal people, and a lot of those seasonal people are now decided to come down since COVID. I mean, we it's the influx has been nuts. I mean, they're filling up apartment buildings, they're building homes. It's the economy is still really good down here. I'm hoping it lasts as long as it does, but you know how things go. So, but other than that, one thing I've been doing comedy still. The comedy's going well. The only thing that's really sad is I lost my home club. The Palm Beach Improv closed on Sunday, and that was really hard for me. The Improv did so much for me. I went there after my first brain surgery. I had no, just planned on taking a class and seeing what it was like, and then just moving on with life. And it ended up being 8 classes later, and I've done a ton of open mics. I've met a ton of friends, and it's just been one of the best experiences in my life. So, stand-up comedy saved my life. My dog did too. I'll show you him one day. But yeah, the Improv is closed. It's going to reopen in 2 years out in Royal Palm Beach, but it won't be the same. I used to walk to class. I live downtown, and it used to be like a 7-8 block walk for me. I don't even think it was a mile, and it was downtown in the city place upstairs by the movie theater, and I had good, I had a lot of experience, or excuse me, a lot of time there over the years. I used to go to the movie theaters there with my family, and we, Blue Martini was next across the way. That was a popular place. I used to party there, and then the Improv Theater. I saw a ton of great acts there, and the reason I went originally, I took the class. I had my brain surgery in July, and at the end of August, Harlan Williams, I think that's who it was. He's been in like Dumb and Dumber and a ton of movies. He always plays kind of a goofy guy. Watched him do stand up. It was a free show. It was unbelievable. I had a great time. I mean, it it made me laugh so hard. And I remember the reason I took the class is I was looking for another show to go to because my friends and I had such a good time going. And then I was looking on their calendar and it said Comedy Class 101. And I'm looking into it and I'm like, that is always something I've kind of, been interested in. As a kid, I did plays and, I did things like that, up until like high school and stuff, and never really continued with it, but kind of always had a knack for it. With my sales job, I've always been good in front of people. I'm good, with just memorizing things, and it comes naturally to me. So I remember I walked up, to the door, and well, actually, let me give you a little preference. Before this happened, I'm looking on the client on the calendar, and it says comedy class. So, all right, I take a look, I pay for it, and I sign up. I walk in there. Oh yeah, and this was the funny thing is the class was supposed to start like the next day, and I emailed the lady, and it was like 12:30 at night. I'm like, hey, is there still room for me to get in the class? I'll pay right now. She said, yeah. She responded at like 1 in the morning. I was like, yeah, go ahead. So I paid for the class. A few days later, I got there, and I'm at the door of the Palm Beach Improv, and I'm like, I don't know if I really want to do this. I don't know. Maybe I should. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I paid for it. Just go and get my money's worth. So I went in there and I met Ramon and I met a bunch of people I'd never met before. And they started off with these exercises where you kind of like, just kind of lighten up and, you have a good time. And you just, they have this thing called Bitch of the Week. And everyone goes around in a circle while they're clapping. And, they're kind of like, okay, my car broke down, my cat, and you just keep clapping and clapping. And at the end, after everyone goes through their bitch, you clap real hard and it makes you feel good. It's a cool little exercise. So we do that, and then we do like word associations where I say a word and then you would say a word that associates with it, kind of get your improvisational skills going. And um and then he gives us topics and we go up there. We write for maybe 10, 15 minutes, and he gives us some topics we go off of, gives us some pointers, and then we go up there and we get on the mic and we do a set. And once we do our set, we critique each other. And the thing that made me like decide I could do this and made me want to do it more was on the very first class, I made everybody laugh. And it did something to me. I walked out of there. My hair's short right now, but it was standing straight up. I mean, it did something to me. It changed me. It just your spirits and all that sort of stuff. It just came out of me. It was great. So I just yeah, it was all of a sudden it was on. It was like I want to do comedy, and that's all I wanted to do from there. So yeah, so I mean that's the story of how it started. I did 8 classes, put on a bunch of great shows, met a bunch of great people, and then come to find out, you know, I don't know, it had been a rumor for about 8, 9 months. Hey, this place might go. Then now it used to be attached to to a movie theater, a Blue Martini, and a parking garage. It's all encompassed in one block, and it looks like what they're going to do is tear everything out, flatten everything, and put a whole new office building there. So much for the arts, right? But we'll be back. So this is the good news. I made a really cool friend in comedy class, my last one, Rachel Hargrove. She is Chef Rachel from Below Deck. Great lady. Become great friends. She's really nice. And her and I kind of collaborated, and a couple other people from our comedy class, to open a new open mic. So now, downtown West Palm Beach, Clematis Street, this place called Bodega. And they're a newer place, and good place, a lot of good reviews, but they just they didn't really have anything going on during the week. They're kind of a weekend place. And so we said, hey, we need a place to go. We got a bunch of people we could bring in, and they have a huge, so they gave us their entire upstairs, and the upstairs is beautiful. It could probably fit 100 people. It's got a full service bar. It's got like a big lounge area. It's got this real cool, I mean, you could use it as a dance floor or something, but I mean, it's a big space, and it was perfect for our mic. I mean, a ton of people came. I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, we had comics that were performing in Fort Lauderdale this weekend. We had a comic who opened for a headliner who just, we just kind of came on a whim, who we just like, hey, if you want to come, come. And we had about 25 comics total. And we had about 60 people all together. So we had a great turnout, had a great audience. It felt really good to have a place to go again. So, rest in peace to the Improv downtown West Palm. It will be back in Royal Palm in a couple years. So until then, we got Bodega. We had a great time. We'll be doing it again this Wednesday. If you want to come, 7:30 is the sign up. 8 o'clock is when the show starts. And like comedy shows, they don't always start on time, but do get there early, because like I said, we had a big sign up. And we'll have a great time. So there'll be deals on drinks and food and stuff like that for the comics. So just make sure if you're doing comedy, and one thing, and and I'm when I give people advice, it's not that I'm the best at it. It's something I'm working on too, but it's things that have been passed along to me. But I need to get better at hitting open mics. Obviously I'm going to do this one every week because this is mine, but I need to hit other ones. I need to work different rooms. and I just need to put myself out there more because the more I do it, the better experience I'll get. And I know I'm decent, but I could be a lot better. So, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I'm great. I'm doing all this stuff. And it's like I said, it's been an amazing experience for me, but I know I'm just at the tip of the iceberg. I mean, Adam Fink, who opened for Gary Owen, was our headliner, unexpected headliner, just kind of showed up out of nowhere after Rachel, hit him up and was like, hey, excuse me. After Rachel hit him up and was like, hey, we're doing a show, come out. And this kid, I mean, well, he's not a kid, he's probably late 30s. And he had been doing comedy for a year and he's opening for headliners already. So it was a great experience to have him there. Adam Fink, he he's just got some really good one-liners. He's got some good story jokes. I mean, he's just killing it. So it was good to see him. There's a couple other guys like I remember one was a guy named Matt Ross. Also very cool, very good set. And then he was this other guy, Flash, who I think might book Rachel. So we'll see what happens. But until then, we're just going to keep having shows, and I'm going to continue to hit open mics and work on my material because, yeah, a lot of comedians do the same jokes and whatnot, but, I'm ready to just, what I'm really trying to work on is crowd work. I get in situations where like my sets are funny and people laugh and I have a good time with it, but it there's so many opportunities when I watch my old videos and someone comments and they're not heckling, they're just like, hey, yeah, that's funny. And it's just like, man, I could have just said something to that person or something and it probably would have got a laugh. So I need to learn to be more in the moment. I know kind of when I do my sets, sometimes I'm kind of regimented and I just kind of run through it. So my plan this time is just to slow down and kind of have fun with it. I'm going to try to improvise a little more because, again, I kind of just run through my set. So I've gotten better at like pausing and, letting the jokes hit a little better. But, there's just, like I said, there's always room for improvement. So I'm working on crowd work. I'm working on wittiness. I'm working on, just thinking of things to say when, people say things and, just, how to get the conversation started with the crowd. And because, again, the crowd work is where I think I could really improve. So, but yeah, I've got all kinds of things to write about. And, I've talked a lot about brain surgery over the years. Now I'm kind of talking more. I talk about work and I talk about like friends and stuff like that. But I really just like talking about real life. I don't like, a lot of comedy is embellished and they make a lot of stuff up, which is fine. That's how it is. But my life, my whole life has just been hilarious. So anytime, things happen, it always ends up being in a funny way. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've had some tough times, but even those times I look back and there was funny instances that are just, out of this, just out of the ordinary, just not normal. So, um, yeah, and I'll share those with you along the way. Like I said, I'm going to do better with this podcast. I keep saying I'm going to bring people on. I don't care about bringing people on anymore. I'm just going to do this. This is for you guys. And, we're just going to keep talking about Palm Beach stuff. Comment, if you want me to talk about something. And if you live in this area and you want to get on the show, come on the show. So if you're a comedian and you want to like talk about what you're doing, if, I'm a salesman, if you're in anything, if you live in the area and you have experience here, or maybe you just want to like just tell people about experiences you've had since you've lived here, then feel free to come on the show. But yeah, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to be dedicated to it. And you will see me at least once a week, I promise. So, all right, that's it for tonight. R.I.P. Palm Beach Improv. Check out Bodega, West Palm Beach, Clematis Street. It's a hot area. It's right in between the 200 block of Clematis, which is where a lot of the big clubs are at, and then Datura Street, which is where like Bradley's and a whole bunch of cool bars. So it's right in the middle. So maybe you're on your way from one to the other, stop in. It's a free show. Grab a drink, get some laughs, go back out, or just come watch the show. I'm guarantee, like my friend Ramon, my teacher, would tell you, you will feel better when you walk out of there than you did walking in. So it's always good to have a little laughter in your life. I'm gonna let you guys go. Uh, this is actually, what are we in? Memorial Day weekend. So have fun this weekend. Be safe out there. If you're in sales like me, crush it. If you're selling like, furniture, cars, or appliances, whatever it is you're selling, give it your best go. Work real hard, have a good time, make a lot of money. And if you're taking the weekend off, enjoy it. Just really, whatever it is you're going to do, just enjoy life. So, this is Ben Fishman, Mr. Palm Beach. It was a great time talking to you today. I will see you another time soon, and have a great day.